Everybody, I'm so excited for you to be here, no matter if you're a reader, writer, or a CS girly like myself. As you can see in today's video, we have kind of a new background because I'm back at home for the summer holidays. But yeah, in today's video, I wanted to film the mid-year freakout book tag. And I know that it's not necessarily the middle of the year right now, it's already passed, but because of exams and everything else, I didn't have time to film this when people were actually filming and posting it, so I decided to just do it right now. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into the questions. I'm going to answer the questions that I found on Lori is Reading, this website here. So yeah, let's just go through them and see what I'm gonna answer for them. So first of all, the best book you've read so far in 2025. So honestly, this was kind of a hard question for me to answer because I read a lot of books that I really enjoyed this year, but I'm going to say The Poppy War, like the first book in the series. I finished it recently and I've been so obsessed with it. Like, honestly, it's the only thing that I can think of. Like, whenever I'm not doing something, I'm just thinking about that book and like some specific characters in it. So like, I loved it so much and I knew that I was going to like it. I already started it 2 years ago, I think, but I never finished it. I just got to part 2. I don't know why I didn't finish it, because I was actually obsessed. Actually, I know, I got into Hermione fanfiction, that's why. Well, okay, anyways, so I didn't finish it, but then I started it again a few weeks ago and I finished it and I've been so obsessed. I've been sending my friends like non-stop videos of me yapping about it. I was like,
guys, I am mentally unwell from reading this.
So yeah, safe to say, I think that's my favorite book. Best sequel you've read so far in 2025. So here I was thinking about how to answer this question and I came up with 2 answers. So right now I'm reading The Dragon Republic, which is the second book in the Poppy War series, and I'm obsessed. I'm as obsessed with this as I was with the first one. I've been eating it up. I'm on page 200. I mean, I know that I didn't finish it per se, so maybe I can't answer with this, but I've been loving this and I hope to finish it as soon as possible. I also need to get the third one to be able to finish the whole series, but like,
this is my personality right now. You can't take this away from me.
Anyways, and like the second answer that I thought of is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in the interconnected trilogy, I guess. Anyways, I really loved this one. I also love the relationship and the guy character in this. Like, if you want to read about a non-problematic guy that's like so easy to root for, read this one because like Jacob, he's also a doctor. Anyways, let's move on from this. So the next question is new release you haven't read yet but want to. So here I have this one, which is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. This one basically is, from what I understand at least, a reworking of a Hermione fanfiction that I haven't read yet, but I really want to read it. So yeah, maybe I'll do that first and then read this. I'm not entirely sure. I saw this when I was on my London trip a few days ago and I really wanted it. It also has sprayed edges and it's also signed. So yeah, I really want to read this one, and also the Rose in Chains one, which is also a reworking of a really popular fanfiction. So yeah, I'm gonna say this one. Most anticipated release for second half of 2025. So here I have 2. So the first one is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, author of the Poppy War series, which, as I said, I'm obsessed with, so obviously I want to also read that. I also heard that it's a romance, so that makes me even more excited about it. And also I'm really excited about Alchemized. But yeah, those 2 I'm really excited about. Then the biggest disappointment. So there's this book, I don't even know its name, I'm just gonna put it up here somewhere. Anyways, and it's a cowboy romance, and I was kind of in the mood for cowboy romances, I guess. I don't know, it was a vibe, I guess. and I was really excited, so I decided to grab that on Audible because I know that there was some sale. If you bought two, you got the third one free or something like that, and I got this one specifically, and like I didn't like it. I finished it because, you know, I paid for it, but I didn't really like it that much. It was just another romance book. In my opinion, it had nothing that was that special, and also I mean, they are saying, from what I remember, that it's an enemies to lovers, but honestly I didn't see that because the guy started having kind of a crush on the girl from the beginning. I mean, he was mean to her, but in his mind he was like, yeah, I like her, blah blah. That was like, basically, that's not enemies to lovers, honestly. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed in that one. But also I didn't know that much about it when I first started, so I guess that's my mistake. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy that one. Next, the biggest surprise of the year. Here I would have to say The Roughest Draft. So that book is basically a romance book about two people that are co-writing a book, and I mean, they co-wrote a book at some point, and after that they didn't write together for a really long time, and nobody knows what happened. So, I mean, there are some speculations about there being a relationship or something. The guy was also married or engaged at that point, so yeah, it's kind of messy, but nobody actually knows what's happening. And in present time they have to, you know, go back to writing together because they have a contract that they have to finish another book and publish it, so they have to, you know, work together again. And I mean, I kind of knew that I was gonna like it because it's about writers, and I also want to write and I love writing and stuff like that, but I was not expecting to enjoy it that much. So, and also after I finished it, I remember I was thinking about it for a really long time, and I talked with my friends about it, and I was like, guys, you have to read this one. So I really enjoyed it, and for me personally, that one I really liked, so I'm also gonna put the cover right here. Favorite new author, I mean, there are a lot of writers that I enjoyed this year, but I'm just gonna say R.F. Kuang because I already told you about the Poppy War and how I couldn't stop talking about it, and even now I can't stop talking about it, so like, maybe that's a sign. Then my newest favorite crush. Here also I have more than just one, but let's just say that one of them is gonna be Jacob from this book because I really loved him, but I also loved all the other male love interests from this series, so like any of them I really love them. And then maybe Najaf from here. I still, you know, I haven't finished his character arc, so maybe things might change, but he has a lot of potential, and in my opinion he's a really interesting character, so that's what drew me to him, so I'm gonna say him from here. But yeah, next, newest favorite character. You know, honestly I loved a lot of the characters from the Poppy War, so probably someone from there. And I mean, also as I said, the guy from here. Usually my fictional crushes are also some of my favorite characters, so I guess, you know, all of them could work for this question. A book that made me cry was The Poppy War, obviously. The Roughest Draft, I think I cried reading that at some point. Also, I remember crying at some point reading this one, so these are just a few, but I am a really big like crier, so I cried everything. So yeah, probably a lot of the books that I read, even if I didn't really like them, I probably cried at some point. But yeah, next up, book that made me happy. This whole series, please read the whole series and you're gonna get the vibe. Everything is so like nice, and the romance is so cute. And the fact that at some point I remember I heard an interview where author of this book was telling the person who she was talking to that basically a lot of the things that the guys in these books do are kind of inspired by her husband, which I also think it's really nice and really cute. So yeah, obviously this whole series I recommend it. I loved all three of them, like Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer. I enjoyed all of them, and they're all like above 4 stars for me, so like yeah, please read them. Next up, I have favorite book to movie adaptation you saw this year. So here I'm just gonna answer with the third season of The Summer I Turned Pretty, just because I didn't read any of the Samurai Turned Pretty books, that's on me, but I started watching the show when it first came out, like the first season, when the first season came out. And I also have kind of a history with the series because the first season I watched with my sister, the second season I watched by myself, but then I also watched the first and the second one with one of my friends from uni. I'm watching the third season with my sister again, which is really lovely. We enjoyed the first 2 episodes so much. We had so much fun watching them. So I would say that probably the Samurai Turned Pretty would be the best answer for this question. Okay, next. I'm gonna skip the next question because it asks what's the favorite review you've written this year, but I haven't written any reviews, so we're gonna move past that. Then we have most beautiful book you bought so far this year. Surprisingly, I didn't buy that many books this year, so I'm really proud of myself for that. But I'll probably say this one because it's really pretty. Also, the sprayed edges are really nice. Under the dust jacket, it looks something like this, and also the fact that it's signed. So yeah, I would say this one. And then the last question, what books do you need to read by the end of this year? Honestly, I'm really bad at sticking to my TBR, but I'm just gonna say finish the whole Poppy War series because I have to get through all the books. Like, I'm obsessed, so I think that I'm gonna be able to finish that. And also maybe the JCT series because I've had that for a year or two, but I didn't read it and I really want to read it now, so probably let's say that one. And yeah, this concludes the mid-year freakout tag. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please tell me how you would answer any of these questions in the comments down below, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.